So over here for the pesto, I've got 3 ounces of fresh basil. I got a half a cup of pine nuts. I got 2 cloves of garlic. And we chopped this today. My daughter chopped a bunch of garlic a couple hours ago while we were working. And the point is I want you to put in the garlic a little bit chopped up before you start this, so you don't have to try and chop up those big cloves. Here I got a teaspoon of black pepper. We fresh ground that today. A teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 ounces of lemon juice, and 1 cup of olive oil. And you know, to me, pesto means a vegetable sauce, a vegetable puree. So I mean, you can make pesto with anything. You can make pesto with chervil, cilantro. And the reason why I like to do it with the hand wand is because it seems to get stuck in the blender. Once you break down this basil, you'll get a nice puree. Now if you did an Italian parsley pesto and you replace the salt with an anchovy, that would go great over a piece of broiled cod, walleye pike. Now originally pesto, the Italian version it's made in a pesto, mortar and pestle, and you do each ingredient one at a time and you grind it by hand. Now we've got these fancy tools. I got 2 speeds on this blender. I got it on the 2nd speed. And you don't really want to mix this too long because you don't want it to start getting warm. Once it starts to get warm, then you start turning the green into yellow. We got a nice puree here. We never had to mess around with the blender and stick a wooden spoon in there. You can do this in a blender, you can do this in a Robocoo, but you might have to add the basil slowly, add all the ingredients instead of not the basil, and then add the basil leaves slowly in the blender if you want to blend it up that way. So there's our pesto. Zach, we got to make something with this pesto. We just can't show them how to make pesto sauce. So let's come over here. So I got a beautiful ripe beefsteak heirloom tomato. I'm going to take my pesto. Perfect. Now, the Italian version puts a little bit of grated Parmigiano Reggiano in. I don't do that because I always add cheese to my pasta dishes, or I serve cheese on the side, and I really like that basil flavor to come through. What's another neat variation with this recipe is if you take the basil out and you put 3 ounces of pistachio nuts in there, then you make yourself a nut pesto. And that is just wonderful on all kinds of things. You can use this pesto, the basil, for making lasagna. I use it to marinate my Greek chicken. So many uses for pesto. Putting it on cooked vegetables, using it to flavor a soup. You know, a nice cream and potato soup with a spoon of pesto in it. Delicious. So, put the tomato on there, maybe a couple olives, pepperoni, and instead of doing mozzarella, I'm going Greek style. I'm going to put some French feta on it. How does that look? Is that looking tasty or what? A little black pepper, a little fresh chopped dill and Italian parsley, just a touch of olive oil over that cheese. Now, when we finish the red glaze, it looks like this once it's cooled. This is another dish that you can use the red glaze. It adds a touch of sweetness. And see how it comes out and it holds its pattern. We used to put this on our goat cheese salad. We did it on the tomato mozzarella salad. We did it on the burrata. I use it on my carpaccio. It's a great glaze for a lot of things that you want to add a little tart sweetness to. So, you know, it's not only for salads, you can use it for vegetables and all kinds of things. Now, another thing you can do with the pesto is if you serve olive oil for dipping bread in, the way we used to do it at the restaurant was a little red pepper, a little black pepper, a little bit of cheese, some herbs, pour olive oil on it, touch of garlic, put your olive oil on your plate, and then you take your pesto. And if you want, you could use your glaze. Now that's rock star dipping oil for bread. You got garlic, you got cheese. You can add capers. You can use different herbs. You could put a touch of my hot sauce on top of it, or your hot sauce now that you're making it. But that's just easy. We made pesto, curried cabbage, red wine glaze in less than 15 minutes. I wish I had made bread today because I really want to dip into this.